In this section of the PPST, we'll use algebra to identify patterns and to look at what we call variation. Patterns allow us to make predictions. For example, in the sequence of numbers 2, 5, 8, 11, we could predict what would be the next three numbers. Well, we notice our pattern is adding 3 each time. Therefore, if we add 3 to 11, we would be at 14, then 17, then 20. We could also look at a table and try to predict what would happen as x decreases by 1. Well, as x decreases by 1, we want to know what happens to our y values, and we can see as x decreases by 1, y is increasing by 1/2. Direct variation is one way that we can use algebra to predict outcomes. We have seen many problems that deal with direct variation. For example, if 1 gallon of milk costs $2, we want to know how much will 3 gallons cost. Well, in our mind, we would take 3 times $2 to give us $6. If we wanted to know how many G gallons would cost, we would take $2 times the number of gallons that we've bought. This is a concept of direct variation. It says that if one value increases, our other value is going to increase by a fixed or constant amount. For example, if we want to know how much 4 gallons could cost, we could set up a proportion or a constant ratio that says 1 gallon of milk costs $2, and we want to know how much G gallons of milk will cost. Notice when we solve this by cross multiplication, we get x is equal to 2 times g. Another example is using the distance equals rate times time. If a plane can travel 5 miles per hour in 1 hour, we want to know how far the plane will travel in t hours. Therefore, we know that distance would be given by 500 times t. Again, in this direct variation, we have this two variables are related by this constant ratio, one increasing, the other one increases by a fixed amount. Therefore, we could see that if we wanted to know how long it would take a plane to go 1,000 miles, we could rewrite 500 miles in 1 hour is equivalent to 1,000 miles in t hours. Solving for t, we can see that t has to be 2 hours. Indirect variation, however, is a little bit different. For example, if we know one person takes 8 hours to complete a job, we want to know how long it would take 2 people to do the job, assuming that they were working at the same rate. Now notice that if I increase from 1 person to 2 persons, or 2 people, the time it takes to complete that job will not increase, but decrease instead. Therefore, we know that if we took our task of 8 hours and divided equally among 2 people, we would take only 4 hours to do the job. So how long will it take n people to complete the job? Well, if I have n people, I still have an 8-hour job, or 8 divided by n would be the time it takes to complete the job, or t is equal to 8 divided by n. Notice in indirect variation we are using the operation of division. These types of problems are also called inverse variation types of problems.